Hi, my name is Sarah Trumbull. I'm the founder and CEO of the Job Applicant Perspective, the first anonymous user reviews for job ads across the US. And this is a blog post called How Old Social Norms Broke the Online Hiring Market. This is a level of go-to-market awareness for my paradigm shifting innovation in online hiring, which is anonymous user reviews for job ads across the US. Basically, Google reviews for job ads because the job market's a market for lemons, obviously. The 1 in 3 job posts are non-existent, don't represent real, jobs. People need to know, and we are basically existing in a world of professionally mandated fine dining with no health department, no FDA, no requirement that anything on the menu has to exist, but somehow people need to participate in this market in order to buy food and pay for rent. I think our innovation is gangbusters great. But part of this is go-to-market awareness, like I said. Also, help with the gaslighting, because the only reason it exists this long is because of all the gaslighting in the market. And so that's kind of what I mean to address here. So this, again, is a blog post. You can find it on my Substack. But I'm doing this in video format as well as audio format, in addition to the written format, just to get it out to a wider variety of readers, because this affects millions. So bear with me. We are improving as we go. Recursive learner myself. How old social norms broke the online hiring market. 4 unwritten rules that made digital labor platforms collapse into chaos. First, updating our social norms, not HR tech. One of my main theses that threads through all of my critiques of the online hiring markets isn't that we've ever had an issue with the tech, but our mental models around the concept of the labor market. Hiring lived online, but we dragged old offline cultural defaults into a new environment. What once worked when markets were local, reputation-driven, and slow has imploded under the weight of scale. Millions of applicants, thousands of platforms, matching algorithms optimized for metrics, not outcomes. Why are we treating these as neutral entities? Look at any of the fiscal year reports. Obviously, they're not. Instead of designing new systems fit for global digital labor markets, we ported fragile old norms into infinite scale. The result, platforms optimized for engagement, not hires. Participants adapt to game the algorithm, not the job. Trust collapses on both sides. These aren't glitches. They are inherited social norms, patterns built for small reputation-based economies that fracture when digitized, destroying the supply and demand signals markets need to self-correct. Who this is for? Job seekers feeling trapped in a black box of ghost jobs and silence. Employers and recruiters frustrated by high spend, low fill rates, and mismatched applicants. Economists and journalists trying to reconcile hiring data with lived experience on the ground. Platform designers and policy leaders deciding whether to build functional markets or double down on engagement metrics. If you've ever applied, hired, designed, or studied these systems, you're already inside these functions. Part 2, the 4 social norms that broke digital hiring. The following are my list of social norms that, when pulled online without update, cause havoc. Feel free to add to the list if you have your own ideas. First, fawning equals professionalism, performance over truth. Offline, polished behavior signaled competence and respect. A firm handshake, clean resume, and polite follow-up built trust when hiring was local and relational. Online, the performance gets codified into platform logic. LinkedIn, personal brands, keyword-optimized resumes, Instagram-worthy culture-fit personas. Platforms optimized for keyword fluency and profile polish, not match quality. Hiring becomes a theater where candidates perform an algorithm-friendly identity, hoping to hit invisible thresholds. Result, noise skyrockets, resumes flood systems, signals blur. Mistrust grows. Employers suspect exaggeration, candidates suspect bias. Churn deepens, job seekers play the game, employers dismiss their authenticity, and everyone feels trapped. We've built an economy where visibility beats fit, and markets built on performance instead of reality become impossible to stabilize. Number 2, talking about the hiring process is unprofessional. Feedback loops collapsed. That's what it means. Offline, employers rejected quietly, but unofficial reputation guarded restraints. Word traveled in small local networks, silence had limits. When any company was overtly constantly ghosting, no one would have applied. Newspapers, by and large, represented the entire talent industry. Their business model was based on trust and only accurate information to either buyers or readers, no misinformation. In addition, in a regional area, they took calls from job seekers and were happy to remove untrue things from the paper because they lost money by deceiving U.S. job seekers. Online, platforms are openly free to mislead U.S. job seekers with only positive consequences because engagement equals profit. The silence as norm was extended to the market itself when it only used to be a privilege for employers. Platforms instead institutionalized non-communication at scale. Ghosting became a default, no structured feedback channels, no accountability for broken processes. For job seekers, rejections without signal, they spam more resumes flood worsens. For employers, without structured feedback loops, broken job descriptions, impossible requirements, and misaligned filters persist. No one sees it until the pipeline breaks again. For platforms, silence benefits engagement metrics. No news drives refreshing, resubmitting, and scrolling, all good for session time, terrible for humans. Markets need information to balance themselves. When we erase feedback loops, we erase the very conditions for market correction. Bottom line, a market without signal isn't a market. It's chaos disguised as structure. Norm number 3, job seekers can't be trusted, aka missing trust layer. The deepest assumptions underlying digital hiring design. Candidates embellished, therefore employers must be protected. Job seekers can't be trusted, therefore we can't trust job seekers, therefore we don't need a trust layer in a market built to engage their time for profit. See how the logic doesn't logic into an efficient market with that one. Not even remotely close. Platforms built one-sided trust flows. Employer ratings visible, candidate ratings hidden. ATS filters flag risk automatically but give candidates no recourse. Recruiters aren't reviewable because no one can tell when they work for a company or not. Hello, unprotected consumer. What does a two-sided market mean? It means the other side is a consumer too. When they have no protections, no ability to choose, that is the definition of inefficiency. Without horizontal trust between participant platforms monetize vertical opacity. There's no review mechanisms or two-way transparency. Employers trust platforms, not people. Job seekers distrust recruiters and hiring managers. Neither side has visibility into actual intent, value, or credibility. In short, platforms profit from absence. Participants pay the cost of inefficiency. When markets lack mutual accountability, no one learns, no one adapts, and inefficiency compounds until the system entirely eats itself, which it's demonstrably doing. Number 4, hiring is a talent show, not a market. Misframed economics. The unspoken default. Job seekers compete in auditions, employers judge. I would like to suggest that the idea that job seekers aren't a consumer kind of lends itself to the idea that they're performers instead. And this is where this comes from. If you actually think of what a two-sided market is, aka one side comes there for talent, the other side comes there for financial stability or socioeconomic mobility, both of those, then you're not talking about, performance. You're talking about mutual benefits. Then you won't have this. But this arises when we forget what a two-sided market is. So back to it. Job seekers compete in auditions, employers judge. A two-sided market being approached as if only one side is a consumer and the other is a performer scales disastrously online. Instead of designing a system where information flows freely, platforms built American Idol for jobs. It is casting for a theater, not a market. Millions audition, a handful win, everyone else gets silence. Here's the tragedy. Only online labor platforms are not small audition rooms. They're global ecosystems. Markets this large need to behave more like a labor stock exchange with real-time transparency and consumer protections for the unpaid users that drive all of its value. Billions. Instead, we build endless casting calls without mirrors because mirrors would be more efficient and that'd be less profitable, right? No one sees where the market's crowded. No one sees where it's starving. Everyone performs harder while staying blind to reality. A labor market without trust mechanisms becomes an endless round of American Idol. Employers play Simon Cowell, and in defending their right to judge, they miss the truth. They are being played too. Yeah, you are. The consequence, broken market logic. When hiring moved online, it didn't just add inefficiency, it obliterated the natural signals markets depend on. No visibility into real job supply, no visibility into candidate demand. Platforms hoard data instead of circulating it. Online platforms are not the newspaper. I don't know how to underline they are not neutral entities. The talent acquisition industry not ever once has promised to be a neutral entity. That's not how that works. This isn't the actors inside the system, job seekers, recruiters, employers, they cannot hear each other. This isn't just frustrating for individuals, it's irrational for business. A platform that hides signals prevents the very efficiency it claims to deliver. It delivers a market for lemons. It does. Bottom line, a market without audible supply and demand signals isn't a market at all. It's noise pretending to be structure. You can check the research. This article builds on my theory of online market gravity, my systems level framework explaining how platforms' incentives broke online hiring markets on SSRN, OSF, or Zenito. There's also relevant companion posts there about the obedience economy, about how the job market isn't a store, it's a relationship, how national job boards tilt the market against Main Street. Also, I mean, you can check out Jolt's hires to openings ratio with fiscal year reports. You can check out stagnant hiring rates, Wall Street Journal, NPR, Yahoo News. They also document how many people are posting jobs that they have no intent to fill. I don't understand how we this is an Econ 101 level error that is crashing. Is an insanity to me. That being said, there's an easy and straightforward solution here, which is a level of ER, which is a job applicant perspective, the first reintroduction of a trust layer that was lost when hiring went online. As an anonymous user review platform for job ads across the US, we give applicants the chance to identify pain points in the system. Tell us which places are ghosting, which aren't. Employers that are ghosting, we need to know. We need to know. Be witnessed by sharing those pain points with each other. You're not alone. You're not alone. Your experience has nothing to do with your character or anything. It's absolutely to do with the system. We need to know for you. You need to know for us. We need to share this information together. You would not buy a hotel room on a place that wasn't reviewed online. You would not buy baseball cards online. You have no need to buy your financial security on a place that won't let you review their products. So, yeah. We're talking about job ads here, though. This is professionally mandated fine dining with no health department and no FDA. Our goal here isn't to tell you what it's like to work anywhere. It's to tell you whether or not that job ad is worth your very valuable time. Even if no one else listened, the market would already improve by having job seekers' voices openly respected and honored. Community witnessing, visibility, these are all things that strengthen market engagement. But this also leads to less resume spam, clearer diagnostic insight on pain points for employers and platforms, employers making more informed choices about what works for them. When job seekers aren't forced to gamble with their time, employers' lives improve too. Small businesses struggling to be seen through the noise benefit when the shelves are cleared. Hiring solutions, not hope casinos, require a two-sided market to have quite overtly two sides. These social defaults broke hard and fast the moment we scaled them into algorithmic platforms. The danger isn't just inefficient hiring, it's that we've erased the feedback signals entirely. The very inputs markets need to self-correct. Until we rebuild transparency, trust, and shared signals, this is not a labor market. It's an engagement machine posing as a hiring solution. That's why I really do hope you'll stop by the job applicant perspective, the first actual hiring solution in maybe 25 years. So, yeah, stop by today. Thank you.